if not very resistant against direct attack. Against a distracted opponent, however, a single blow often proves quite sufficient. Man, it has a very high damage. It has damaging 3, which is not even in here. The only thing that would be better than damaging 3 would be like this. Right? Because damaging 3 is super high. Well, or you know, like instead of damaging 3, maybe have like superb would work too. Because it's the same damage, but the accuracy is much better. But wow, man, that's pretty nuts. I'm loving this.
Hey there.
Shh. The copper wires and conduits are shiny. The device is warm to the touch. Something churns and bubbles in this tank.
I see where you're going with that. There. What did I tell you?
Blade Golem. 50% stun duration, 50% knockdown duration, plus 50% 50 defense while stunned, while prone. It's fine. It has 2 damage reduction on it already. Blade Golem, Wolfheart, is said to have been blessed by the Lord of the Hunt himself, a human hunter showing skill with a bow and arrow beyond any before seen, caught Galawain's attention one day. Galawain proposed a bargain. If the hunter could best him in a hunting contest, Galawain would present her with armor that would bestow upon her the power of a wolf. For a week, both hunters tracked their respective quarry through the woods, and when the contest was ended, the hunter had felled the most game. True to his word, Galawain presented her with Wolfheart, which gave her the crafty and evasive nature of its namesake. Bro, that is pretty darn cool. Keep that in mind.
Yeah?
Robin Samniak, thank you so much for that host, man. Do appreciate it. Save. Let's talk to Azo. A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Ethelmore told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmore hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved to an inanimate object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If Animancers are followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Raid Ceres. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. Our leaders guides us, and without them we risk losing our way. If this man would strike off on his own, then let him fend for himself without the benefit of the sanitarium. You toy with things beyond our comprehension. It's dangerous and foolish. No, not that. Surely there are other paths that don't involve risking lives.
Indeed. Many lives have been spent in such pursuits, writing treatises and poems. But tell me this, how does one verify the truth of a poem? If some philosopher stumbled across the meaning of our existence, how would we know it from a false one? These are wasted lives. In Animancy there is progress. We are measurably closer to complete understanding because of our work. And that will be true until our work is complete. Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an Animancer, or it will be no one at all.
I heard you were demoted. How did this happen? Azos nostril flare and he bares his upper teeth more broadly. That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Haldmer, that smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything, I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. Have you tried your experiments on any other subjects? I have. Yes, no point in lying about it, now that Ethelmore is involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifice would mean something. I lack access to the North Ward. Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. So you can coerce them into your experiments. Freyol told me everything. Oh god.
She's a patient. That blazing woman knows nothing of the nature of my experiments.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl simmering beneath his breath and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
He pulls a heavy key from one of his pockets and nearly slams it down on the floor before ending it to you.
Hey there.
Nice and quiet.
Oh god. Sounds like such a bad idea. That will end very poorly for us. I can already tell. I can already tell. Oh, brother. Here we go. Is this my face? Tell me. This is not my face. Sure, bro. Sure. Graham. This man has the look in his eyes of a hunted animal, and at your approach, he staggers backward to the far corner of his cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if you would get him farther away from you. He cries out a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you've ever heard. I need to ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern if indeed they are words at all. Kenna winces. I don't think you can speak anymore. Not in words, at least. This is monstrous. You afraid? Do certain visitors make you afraid? He looks at you with uncertainty. Slowly, tentatively, he steps closer to the front of his cell, and as he does so, for the first time you can perceive his soul within your ken. It is misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Graham's soul. Peer into his soul. You project out toward the main soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You're in your cell, a key turns, the door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else in your mind is a single word, and the word is no, but it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadow across books and machinery. Straps behind your arms and legs, cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. The dismantled his work and he needs another source. He needed to show that he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knob and you feel yourself beginning to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats, and you're screaming a scream you can barely hear. Another night, heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door, the flesh giant, the artificial being, just outside, but facing left, facing at the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away, and leaves. That's fucked up, man. Decouples from his soul. Graham looks at you, still wild-eyed, but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell.
Quiet.
That is so weird. So weird. Thundering sky, rain of blood, innocent must drown.
This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
Hey, Exile, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm doing super good, by the way. I doubt the wealthier citizens have the same experience. I'm sure they have their share of family members they'd rather forget. But if all were treated like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such conditions? There are just as many who come here and are cured of their ills. People who would otherwise be cast aside. I hope so. Kenna takes a deep breath. You're probably right. Hard to see. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. I know, man. It's so fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. Oshgrim. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead. The occasional blink is only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, dull-like eyes. In this state, the barrier between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Reach out. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You're cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You're standing in a cell now, the same cell in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual round, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creatures. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You're rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel, you're strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon the large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you're pulled past them, and it dissolves into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd, stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You're acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl, but this body is naturally yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts an entire theater aglow. He opens a valve and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his word astray periodically from some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Oloborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there's obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, and then another and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Holoborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hand outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down into the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panic screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? Okay, Exiled. Talk to you later, man. I don't see you often enough anymore. It's too bad, dude. You're pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. Oh, I get it, man. It happens. I miss you, though. I really do. I really, really do. But hey, dude, have a good day tomorrow. I hope I'll see more of you soon. And take care of yourself and the wifey. Love you, man. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expensive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You're yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There's no mistaking now that this is the soul of the man who caused your awakening that gazes out from the borrowed husks. A watcher. You made me into a watcher. I need you to undo it. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems for that moment that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he's about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look, you hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You're like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Oh, shit. Okay, group. We gotta kill these guys. So, Graham first, sadly. Why don't you mind control... Wait, no. You know what? Mind control... I don't know, man. Edelman, maybe? Maybe not. Don't mind control Edelman. Mind control... Oh, do it. You're close enough now. Candy skeleton now. Haha! Edelman just healed all of us. Okay, Charlie. Love you, man. Talk to you later, dude. Batixa. Oh, he's immune. Fall back. Spawn even more.
Following your lead. Stab.
Boom!
Hey there.
We did it.
Margren's fire casts light in dark places.
I don't seem good, however. You can hear them scream. The chain groans with added weight. Crescent bite marks pit the edges of the cut. The bucket reeks of offal. Dude, we can hear them scream. This is so freaking scary. I don't like sanitariums. Like, I really, really don't. Kill that guy. Quickly. Come on. Good.
Show him how it's done!
Hey, Ravenclaw, how you doing? I'm super happy to see you. What's up? What's going on?
I'll see what I can find.
Oh, God. Oh, great. They're out. Even better. Fantastic. Luckily, white are really easy to kill. They're so easy to kill.
Show him how it's done! Yeah?
Quiet.
Huh. Sure, why not? This is scary.
you a lesson! Show him how it's done!
They're all dead, bro. Wow. Durance, move here. And then please do so. Boom. All dead.
Easy does it. Sure.
Good lord. I can't even imagine what they did to that poor doctor down there. He's probably dead, isn't he? No, he's not. How the hell is he still alive, bro? Wow. Oh, yes, Jack. Absolutely I am. What have you done? You've been experimenting on patients against their will, mangling their souls. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. Azo's face drains of what little color it had. How could you possibly? Look, it had to be done. Etelmor and the others, they took everything from me. Everything. When I was this close, I had to know. I had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the value if I succeeded. I had something that could make all those hollow infants into something like a real person. And with a few more patrons and a few years of research, who knows? No one has come to that close with the legacy. It's why I have to continue. Why I have to risk everything we've worked here working in secret. It's why you have to lie to Etelmor for me. Tell him you've cleared me of all suspicion. I mean, it's not his fault, though. We'll see.
I trust that you'll do what's right for Deerwood. Don't hold everyone accountable for my mistakes.
What if the Hollowborn kept happening? What if generations upon generations dealt with this horror? If it could all be stopped by sacrificing a few Deerwoodans on the altar of study? His face contorts into a pained smile. Then I can argue with his ethical accounting.
I'll stay out of sight.
How is he still alive? You can hear the scream. Like, everybody's like fighting for their lives right now with monsters at every turn. He's just like calmly just continuing his research. It's like, meh. Okay, well, clearly we have to leave through this door. Door which is open, so it's probably like, there's probably a bunch of monsters in there too. I hope not, but who knows. Oh god. Man, the screams. They're terrifying. Okay, she's gone. What about her? She's in there. She's fine. That's one of the patients. It's running away. I'm getting out of here. It's not safe anymore. Oh god. Oh god, what is upstairs, guys? I know, right? It's super bad. We'll see. What I'd like to tell the guy upstairs is, like, I'd like to tell him the truth, but I also like to tell him that the leaden key was responsible for him fucking up his research. And let him deal with it, you know? What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. Azo was being influenced by a patient, but that patient really wasn't himself at the time. No, it's complicated. The patient of yours, Ushgrim, was working for the Leaden Key, only without knowing it. You finish your explanation and Etelmir breaks his silence. I've read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place.